Now let's hear more about the situation in Syria and whether the power change could give rise to radical Islam again. We bring in Michelle Ригби Assad. She is a former CIA intelligence officer and the author of Get Off the X, her new book that comes out in January. Good morning, Michelle. Good to have you on the show. So to continue what we just heard, it looks like the biggest worry right now for the U.S. is that ISIS could exploit the situation in Syria. What do you see there? What kind of risk do you see there?
I see significant risk, and that's because the Assad family has been in control of Syria for over 50 years, leaving a huge power vacuum. And the coalition that's taken over Syria and removed him from power, led by al-Jolani, have been trying to remake who they are and rebrand themselves as more moderate. And the reason why al-Jolani has to do that is because he has to take power, consolidate power and control over this broken country. But it's really important to look at what he's doing versus his words. So he's claiming he's moderate, but just a few days ago he welcomed an Egyptian who's been sentenced to death for the assassination of the top prosecutor in Egypt in 2015. So this is giving huge cause to Arab leadership to be very concerned about what he's going to do as he consolidates control. He has the same ideology now as he had all these years ago. And so he's really kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
So you just touched on it a little bit. Let's talk about it more. So the HTS, they're still actually pushing this message of unity and an inclusive government. And we know that they had taken power in Idlib since 2017. So does their ruling there give us any good indication of what it could look like in Syria?
Yes, it gives us very good indication, and it's not a good one. What we're going to see is an erosion of women's rights. We're going to see, Syria is a very well-educated people, and the women have worked and been very free. But what you're going to see, based on what al-Jolani and his cohorts did in Idlib, is that you start eroding the power of civilian groups and women, and you cut back on their education and their ability to move around the country, and you start very carefully and gradually introducing more and more controls over people that are really established by their very extreme ideology.